fear. For me, fear is like the best way to do something, because when you get scared, that means that this is really important for you. So when Benjamin called my agent and me and asked me to come here, I got really scared. Because I know there is a lot of talented people here, and this is not what I do daily. Nowadays, I work like an actor. But fear is not familiar for me. It all started when I was around 7 years old. I grew up in a kind of dysfunctional family. My siblings were started with drugs really early age, and both of them are dead due to drugs. My father, he drank a lot. You could say he was an alcoholic, and he died also due to alcohol. And when I was 7 years old, we were in our hometown, but it's not a town, it's a village where I'm born. They got like electricity for 5 years ago, so it's really high up in the mountains. And he also was in prison for taking another man's life. So we were kind of scared of him, So he woke us up in the middle of the night and forced us down, all my siblings and my mother, on our knees. And he was walking back and forward with a gun and threatening us, holding it to our heads. And from that night, I started to learn how to handle fear and how to use it to my advantage, So always when we went back to Sweden and when he was coming home, I tried to figure out how to dodge him, to be nice to him, or like, go into my room and go to sleep, or go outside and train or something. So I started with Taekwondo when I was 8 years old. It's a Korean martial art. You have ITF Taekwondo, it's from North Korea, and VTF Taekwondo, it's from South Korea. And same there, I was really scared, to go in fights, and everybody was older than me. And during my school time, I didn't have like support, because my mom, she never go to school. And like I said, my father was drinking a lot, and my siblings were in juvenile institutes, so I couldn't find help from them. But it was okay. I found a way to do my things by myself and find courage. So we only have like 15 to 18 minutes. So I'm gonna jump forward 10 years. When during my teenage, a lot of families where I'm, especially Serbian, or like it was when I grew up, Yugoslavia, ex-Serbia, Montenegro, and Slovenia, and Croatia, and all this was one country. All of you too young, but you know. So they were talking a lot about my family, and me, oh, Dragomir is not going to succeed. He's going to drop out school, because no one in our family had graduated. And he gonna drop out from Taekwondo and all that. So what I did, I focused on school and on Taekwondo. When I was 18 years old, I was selected to the Swedish national team in Taekwondo. And I became Scandinavian championship. So I remember when I was standing in the final against a Danish guy. He was like 10 years older than me, and he had mustache, and I was like 18 years old and really, really scared of him. So what I did, and he had broken nose on the guy before me. So I was, shit, my nose is gonna go to hell now. So what I did, I took out my best tools. So I broke his nose after 1.5 minutes. And I became Scandinavian champion. So I felt a little bit like, yeah, I did something good. I graduated the same year from school, and you know how it is in Sweden. Family members are waiting for you with big signs, almost billboards, and congratulating you, and you know, they have pictures on you when you're infant, and you know, but no one was waiting for me outside the school. But this was okay, because okay, I was not angry at my family. Of course, I was a little bit sad, but it is what it is. So I sneaked out a side door because I felt a little bit ashamed. You know, everybody's there, and I knew that they were not there because they didn't love me, because they had for me to have an addiction is like a sickness, like you're sick, a disease. And what I don't like is if your addiction is something that is legal, like food or sex or alcohol, it's okay. You know, you can sit in a TV, you know, host, they do TV programs about Biggest Loser and whatever. But if your addiction is illegal substance, then suddenly you are a bad guy. You are a criminal. Nobody wants to help you out. But it's not like that. It's a disease is a disease, and the addiction is addiction. You should not judge people on which substance they are addicted to, you know? So, and I took my driving license the same year. It was a really big deal for me. Now I felt like, okay, you was talking bad about me, that I will not succeed. Now I'm successful. But here comes like a big turn in my life. You know, the adult life is scary for many of you. You are there now, but for me it was a little bit extra scary. I grew up in the hoods in Fittja. It's a suburb not far from here, like 45 minutes, depending who's driving. For me it's like 15 minutes. Yeah, I always take the buses and 30, 40 over the limit speed. So I was like, okay, how do I get into the society like everybody else? I tried to get work, but too short, like 2-3 months after the school. I didn't have like, my family didn't have a fund of money for me, you know. Like not usually, but many families do that, you know. They take their child and give them like some money, you know. So I was not in any queue to get an apartment and that kind of thing. So, but I really wanted to move on in my life. What I did was, I don't want this 10, 12 years of period in my life to sound like it's something that I'm proud of or that I feel cocky, you know, about it. It's I start to do criminal things, you know. So I start to do bank robberies, armed car, like brings that, you know, money goes from there to there, and I start to rob them. And of course I was scared during the robberies and the heist I did. But I was kind of good at it, you know, if you could say that, but I was. I did the biggest heist in Swedish history. It's one of the biggest in the world, 930 million heist. Most of it was in bonds, you know. Then I did another robbery, and I always get away, you know, because I did them really thoroughly, you know. I didn't left anything for the cops. But, you know, I was caught because one of my friends snitched on me. So I was put on trial. I got 5 years prison. And I remember like it was yesterday, it's 30 plus years ago, when the judge gave me like, okay, I sent you to 5 years prison. When you get you know how they say, I got so scared that I was paralyzed. But for me, it was opposite. I got like something happened in my brain. It was like small flashes. And I start to fight with the guards. And I ran out from the court and I escaped from the courthouse. All the doors was locked because they have the alarm was sounding and everything was like closed. So I find a window, I climb up, and I turn around to see where everybody is, and the guard is coming from everywhere. And of course, there were some journalists there, because Sweden was the #1 country in robberies due to population. And and I saw the flashes, and I thought that this guy is going to make money on this picture. So next morning, I was on every magazine in Sweden, the cover of them, and inside like 10 pages, and I was on TV show Wanted. And during like a period of 12 years, I was caught again for the same, after 7 months. I was arrested and put on, I appealed another trial, and this time I was acquitted, because the guy who snitched on me, he changed his story. We can't go into that, why he did it, but he changed his story. Maybe somebody talked to him. This is not funny, but now it's funny, 30 years after. So he changed his story, and I was acquitted, and I was a free man. So what did I do? I started to do more robberies. I traveled all around the world, from LA to South America, Brazil, France. So what I did, I traveled around the world, France, Cannes, Nice, Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, all over the world. After I was 3 times on the run during the 90s. I escaped from the court, I escaped from the custody, and one more time. So finally, I was again put on trial for the biggest heist, the 930 million. So I got 3.5 years prison. I escaped. But I was so tired of this life as a criminal. So I called the prosecutor, please, can I go into prison? I want to surrender, but I want this prison because it's close to my family. So they say, okay, you can go to that prison. It's a deal. I went to the prison. I did my 3.5 years. I ate on the maximum security prison, of course. I had dinners with terrorists, murderers, kidnappers, all kinds of, I don't want to say bad persons, but because I was out. But after 2 years and 2 months, I was released. And during prison time, I was scared. Not for the people, but that I was going to come back there. So I decided, no way. I'm going to do anything in all I had in my power to not come back here. So when I came out, I started to study again, sportsman's leadership, because I was, trained with Taekwondo. I was still fit, and sportsmanship leadership and sport consulting for 3 years. And in the same time, I was offered a job, for the first job in my life. And I was, oh, wow, cool, a job. And it was not like any job. I was to train the Swedish Olympic top team. And I was, what? I was in every newspaper, TV show, Wanted, and is this possible? Yeah, it was. So I started to travel again to the same places. I was in Rio 2016 as a coach mentor for the Olympic team in Taekwondo, France, United States, US Open. I was, almost I said it. Shit, this is not happening. 2004, I'm going to speed up a little bit. 2004, I opened my own gym at a really nice place at Östermalm. I had all kind of people there, directors, producers, movie stars. Zlatan was there, Tom Cruise has been at my gym. I trained Margarita Navratilova. I trained Fares Far, all kind of people. I trained both girl with the dragon tattoo, Noomi Rapace. I trained Rooney Mara for their role. And once again, all newspapers are writing about me, but this time as a coach and a mentor. And I didn't quite understand it. How can this happen? You know, it's a big deal to go from the most notorious criminal, and I was appointed as the leader of the most notorious gang in Swedish history. They called us the Eagle League because many of us have an eagle tattooed on the right shoulder, an eagle holding an arrow. That means that you are faster than the hunter. And you can think who the hunter was. We were the hunted. So I started to work with at Manila Skolan. It's one of the diplomats. Kids go there, and kids between 8 and 10 years old. I remember the first time I came out there. Always when I train people, I have like old clothes. I don't have like these flashy things on me. The kids are running from there everywhere, like, oh, here he comes, the best robber in the world, and our trainer, and the director in the school, like, who are you? She stand like 10 meters. She didn't dare to, and I was walking towards her, like my nose was almost touching her. I'm Dragomir, who are you? And she like almost dropped, like, oh, okay, I now understand. And I really didn't get it. How is this possible? So big difference. I transformed. 2007, 5, 6, I did some small roles in some movies. 2007, I did a movie with Yusuf Fares. He's a gamer now. He was a director before. It was good. Daniel Espinosa was his assistant there. So he asked me, I'm doing a movie, Easy Money. Do you want to come and have a casting? Oh, for sure, I'm going to come. I did the casting. I got the role as Mrado. It went worldwide. Martin Scorsese presented in LA and New York. I won prize as the best actor, international prize. Now again, I'm traveling to the same places. In Cannes, there was a billboard on my face, like 5-10 meters wide. And they asked me, the producer, what did you do today, Dragomir? I say, I was walking back and forward and looking at my picture, like, how is this happening, you know? Still, I get shocked. How is this possible? To go from like a notorious criminal to be like trainer for the Swedish Olympic team, top team, not talent. They have talent trainer and top trainer. To go to do movies with Tom Cruise and writing my own movies, and The Guardian. Now I'm in The Guardian, and like several times a picture on me, but for good things, you know. And this, I worked with Zlatan several times when he was in Paris, when he was in Manchester, when he was in LA. So I worked with all kind of stars. And the last, I'm going to make it short now. You know, to dare something, to challenge your fear is to overcome, okay? Mistakes is a way of learning. Trying is closing in to the end game. So don't be scared of these three things. Be scared of not trying, because first time you dodge your obligations, your tasks, is going to feel a little bit hard. The next time is going to feel a little bit easier. Third and the fourth time, you're going to get used to it. And that's not good. The outcome, it doesn't matter, you know. The important thing is what you do, that you do it. In your life, it's not important which situation you are in. It's important how you handle them, okay? Something good can happen to you, but when I got the role in London with Tom Cruise, I could party and take drugs and that kind of shit and lose everything, my family, everything. and something bad can happen to you, like me, I went to prison, I did something good of that. I learn. Now, you don't have to go to prison to learn. You're smarter than me when I was young. But you understand what I want to say. It's not about which situation you are into. It's about how you handle the situation. Be grateful that you live in Sweden, a free country. You have opportunities. You can almost do anything you want. They pay you to go to school. Come on. You know? Be thankful every morning that you wake up. There is so many diseases, things that can happen to you that you have dodged. This time is good to dodge. That you have you wake up, you can wash your face, you can do whatever you want. Be nice to people around you. As more people around you that having it good, you are going to have it good also. Take care of each other. Be nice to each other. And never hesitate. Do what you want to do and take the opportunity and do the best in every situation you are into. The last thing is, if I'm doing a movie, the budget is 200 million US dollars. I did that movie. I was totally focused. They asked me to do a movie for 5,000 crowns, 500 budget, and do my best in small things and good things. Okay? Thank you.